of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. It's of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. It's of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings.
Good morning and welcome to This Week in Focus. To present this particular edition, my names are Yesani Jose. I know that a lot of you have had an exciting and overwhelming week, experiences and trying by all means just to, settle down. We do get concluding on this almost chilled out month of May as we do go into the month of June. I know that a lot of people have started adjusting their outfits to, some warm clothing, some jackets, some wraps around your necks just to keep warm. We'd like to invite you to this exciting and intriguing package that will look at some of the top stories that have made it this particular week. Let's go for a very short break. When we do get back, we'll be looking at the headlines for this particular day and the stories that have made it on This Week in Focus.
It's of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. It's of the week.
Welcome back. It's yet a Saturday that we are inviting you to just dwell on some of the stories that have made it this week. Now, President Hichilema, Vice President Nalumango file nominations for the 2026 elections. Mazabuka nominations, violence suspects arrested. Gary Nkombo case under investigation. Simon Chitambala Mwewa files nomination as UPND Lusaka mayoral candidate. Mwewa ages Zambia under 17 not to underestimate DRC. Those are some of the top stories that have made it this particular week. I know that we will be celebrating a day for Africans, African Freedom Day. It's going to be a Monday and of course a holiday for a lot of many. I would like to echo to a lot of us to remember that peace and working together is one of the core values that make that celebration a pedestal for any particular country. And of course, ensuring that Africans are free and that they can live peacefully, have education, have water, sanitation, and make decisions that are meaningful to their lives is a prime objective for any particular country. And so as we do get to the polls, I'd like to urge people to, maintain peace and order so that we can continue to enjoy this peace in Zambia and in Africa and world over. Some of the stories that have made it this particular week. Hichilema Nalumango file nomination for the 2026 elections. President Hakainde Hichilema and Vice President Mutale Nalumango have officially filed their nomination papers as United Party for National Development presidential candidates ahead of the August 13, 2026 general elections. The two leaders successfully submitted their nominations and took the oath of allegiance at the Mulungushi International Conference Center in an event marked by jubilant scenes and overwhelming support from thousands of UPND supporters and alliance partners. The colorful gathering attracted party members from across the country, with supporters clad in UPND regalia, singing and chanting in solidarity. Several leaders from alliance partner parties also attended the support, including Neves Mumba, Charles Mulupi, Hiv Hamududu, and Judith Kabemba, amongst others. President Hakainde Hichilema is seeking another mandate focusing on continued economic transformation, job creation, infrastructural development, and national unity. The Tonse PF Welcome Tonga Mundubile calls for peace, condemns Nkombo incident. The Tonse PF Pamosi Alliance has welcomed Roosevelt Tonga as the new presidential candidate for the Third Liberation Party. marking a fresh political alignment with the opposition bloc. The alliance says the inclusion of a new leadership is aimed at strengthening unity, consolidating support amongst the 2026 general elections. Meanwhile, Tonse PF Pamodzi Alliance leader Brian Munduvile has called for peaceful elections, urging political players and supporters to maintain order and respect during the electoral process. Mr. Munduvile has also condemned the recent incident involving former Mazabuka Central Member of Parliament, Gary Nkombo, describing the political violence as unacceptable and a threat to democracy. He has since urged authorities to ensure that all those involved in the acts of violence are brought to book as investigations continue.
And major among those, we have undertaken to unite this country. We have undertaken to restore democracy. The unity of this country starts now. We are dealing with a country that is so divided. Zambia is divided. So unity is an emergency. That is the reason why, as Ton said, we are prioritizing unity. We want to unite this country across regions, across tribes. We are reaching out to our brothers and sisters in other provinces. We want to see the voting pattern to change this time around. Many people have expressed concern. When you go back in history and you look at the voting pattern, it's indeed very saddening. It's not possible. It's not possible that our brothers and sisters in other regions cannot find a credible candidate who is in their midst but comes from another region. There must be something more. That is evidence of something more. The question that we must ask our leaders in government today, what message do they preach to their supporters in the dark? What message do they preach at household level? But today, we are happy that many Zambians in other parts of the country, which were traditionally our non-strongholds, are coming out to call for unity. So countrymen and women, we stand firm on the restoration of democracy. We stand firm on the restoration of unity. Only then can this country go forward. So as we continue to receive our brothers, we want to say thank you. And it may be a day or two, we may be back here to receive some more brothers that will come to the alliance.
There's been a lot of violence and a lot of abusive language that has been used during the process of the nomination period. And of course, it's not a scene that we're familiar to, and a lot of people are really just baffled. I'm baffled. The whole world is baffled. But anyway, anything is possible in the political arena. Now, in a related story, the Mazabuka nomination violence continues as the suspects arrested in that particular case where Gary Nkombo case is under investigation. Now, the former Mazabuka Central Member of Parliament, Gary Nkombo, has been at the center of the nomination day incident that has now led to the arrest, as authorities have to restore order following Tuesday's chaos at the Mazabuka Civic Center. The incident occurred during nomination filing when Mr. Nkombo attempted to submit his papers as an independent candidate following his fallout with the ruling party. The situation quickly escalated into a confrontation, while witnesses were reportedly shouting, confusing, and physical alterations were the order of the day. According to police, Mr. Nkombo reported that he was assaulted by Mr. Bilden Shalomba, a man identified only as Mr. McMahon, alongside with a group of suspected United Party for National Development supporters. Police say the former minister sustained a bruised left arm, pain in the right arm, and general body injuries, with his shirt and sunglasses damaged during the scuffle. In a latest development, authorities have confirmed that while the situation has since stabilized, some of the suspects linked to the incidents have now been arrested and are in custody as investigations continue. Police say more updates will be provided as inquiries process. Another story that is similar to this one is of the ex-Lusaka deputy mayor and 11 others were arrested during the nomination period. Immediate past Lusaka deputy mayor Ketina Nayangwe has been arrested together with 11 others for breach of peace during the filing of nominations for the mayoral elections. Amongst those arrested at the Civic Center is NGOCC chairperson Beauty Katebe. Police spokesperson Godfrey Chilabi said the incident occurred around 13 hours yesterday during nomination activities. Others arrested including Cecilia Chibesa of Matero, Lucy Chawinga, and Charles Gondwe of Kamwala South. These are some of the incidences that have been occurring in the country as a lot of filing has been happening. And of course, it's all about, wanting to, be a part of the August period of elections. And of course, anything is possible, but the forces that be the police are on it. And of course, we'll see a lot of arrests and a lot of people being charged with, an orderly conduct and whatnot. I mean, so just like to encourage each and every individual to understand that each and every person out there does have freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and freedom to participate as candidates, as people that want to also vie for positions. And so let's work together and ensure that we do have a peaceful, free and fair election as we go towards August. Now, in a twist of events, Simon Chitambala Mwewa files nominations as the UPND Lusaka mayoral candidate. Simon Chitambala Mwewa has filed in his nomination papers as the United Party for National Development UPND candidate for the Lusaka mayoral seat ahead of the August 13 general elections. Mr. Mwewa, who was reportedly rejected by some UPND supporters in preference for immediate past Lusaka Deputy Mayor Ketina Nayangwe, was escorted to the Nakatindi Hall Nomination Center by a heavy police presence to ensure the filing process proceeded smoothly. He successfully filed in his nomination papers at the center amidst tight security. Meanwhile, reports indicate that Mr. Chitambala is the preferred candidate of the President Hakainde Hichilema for the Lusaka mayoral race. The development comes as political competition intensifies ahead of the 4th general elections.
Yes.
Say anything to you?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you so much to the UPND leadership, and I think that we can do some great things if the people of Lusaka give us an opportunity to serve, which I believe the people will. I think we can do some really amazing things. Thank you.
Like, what are some of the amazing things you're planning to do for them?
Results, not promises.
We should be enjoying ourselves as we are watching Top Star Channel 121. You haven't missed out on a lot of stories as we are on This Week in Focus. Now, another story that has made, sparked attention on our news desk this particular week is this one, where pastor student face court over pangolin possession. Now, a lot of people should understand that the pangolin is one of the protected species here in Zambia. So you don't play around. Once you see it, call the authorities. Otherwise, you might just find yourself in trouble. Now, a 46-year-old Congolese pastor and a 26-year-old student have appeared in the Lusaka Magistrate Court for allegedly being in possession of a pangolin. The student, Maxwell Mendai, and the pastor pleaded not guilty before Chief Resident Magistrate Chabala. In this matter, the two are facing one count of illegal possession of protected trophy contrary to the laws of Zambia. Allegations are that on April the 24th, 2026, the accused jointly had in their possession a pangolin weighing 13.5 kilograms without a license or certificate of ownership. Magistrate Chibala has adjourned the case to May the 27th, 2026 for ruling on their bail application. So yeah, that's just something that people need to be aware of. There's certain things that you just can't cross the line, and of course a pangolin is one of them. Namakau Muhangana vows grassroots development agenda. The independent candidate Namakau Muyangana has filed her nomination papers to contest in the Maramba constituency presidential seat in the upcoming general elections. Mrs. Muyangana, who was accompanied by supporters, says her campaign will focus on improved service delivery, grassroots development, and accountable leadership. She says she is offering residents of Maramba an alternative leadership style centered on unity and transparency. Meanwhile, the development comes as there is a growing number of women participating in the August 13, 2026 election, reflecting on increased female participation improvement across the country.
Time of morning, and I take this undertaking very, very emotional because I just lost a partner recently, and having been able to honor his wish today makes me a very proud person. Maramba may be a new constituency, but it's not new to me. I have, for a very long time, worked for this community. Yes. I have had so many activities, thinking of boreholes, yes, and the few works that were done on the bridge. Yes. Because of the water gravity, the bridge was washed away. But I still take pride, yes, because from 2019...
This year is unpredictable, as we have seen a lot of women participating in the filing in of nominations, and of course young individuals also taking part. Some adoptions have been made by political parties to adopt these young individuals. Now, aspiring councillor Costa Lesa files Chainda nomination. Aspiring Chainda Ward Councillor Costa Lesa has successfully filed in the nomination papers to contest for the forthcoming August 13, 2026 general elections. Speaking shortly after filing his nomination, Mr. Lesa thanked supporters for the financial, moral, and emotional support rendered throughout the process. He expressed gratitude to those who escorted him, encouraged him, and patiently waited until the nomination process was completed, saying their love, sacrifice, and belief in him meant more than words could express. Mr. Lesa says the journey would not have been possible without unity and support from the people of Chainda Ward. The aspiring councillor further pleaded to continue working together with residents to achieve more development for the area. Meanwhile, Mr. Lesa has called on the people of Chainda Ward to support his candidature ahead of the August 13 polls. There you go. Just like that, you can see that almost everyone does have supporters, but when it does come to the box, you just never know. The August 13 general elections are going to be unpredictable because we do have some people that have never taken part in the election process, trying it for the first time. We will just see that when the time comes. And a sad story making it on our news desk. In a Chasafu, woman has been found dead in a stream as her husband is detained. A 25-year-old woman in a Chasafu district has been found floating in a Katete stream days after she was reported missing, with police now holding her husband in connection with the incident. Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer Robertson Mwemba confirmed that Agnes Nyirongo, who was in a polygamous marriage with Simon Zulu, 31, was discovered naked with her neck and legs tied to a large log. The body was found on May the 22nd by villagers nearly a week after she last was seen alive. According to police report filed at Imusa Police Post, Nyirongo had supper with her co-wife Trinus Mwansa, 28, on the evening of May 15, before she later went to sleep with her husband at her house, just 10 meters from the first wife's residence. The following morning, her co-wife noticed she was missing. When asked, Mr. Zulu reportedly claimed that she had traveled to Malambo area in the nearby Chama district. However, police say no missing person report was filed. Authorities say the body showed no signs of drowning, but indicates that the deceased may have been bitten before being dumped in the stream. Due to the condition of the remains, family members have been allowed to bury the body with the grave marked for possible exhumation pending post-mortem results. Simon Zulu has since been picked up by police and is assisting with investigations. Kangwa commissions Lusaka Hospital wing. Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa, has commissioned the newly constructed US $6 million facility wing at the Lusaka Trust Hospital in Lusaka, reaffirming government's commitment to strengthening healthcare through modern infrastructure. Mr. Kangwa says quality healthcare delivery depends on efficient and patient-centered facilities, while commending the hospital for supporting government efforts. IDC Chief Executive Officer Mr. Conwell Mlea says the project reflects strong collaboration among its stakeholders and aligns with national health priorities. Lusaka, a Trust Hospital Board Chairperson Mr. Chavala Lumbwe says the expansion will enhance quality care and promote international standards in the service delivery. Kofa Dam completed as water supply restored to communities. District Commissioner for Lundazi, Mero Mumpashia Banda, has inspected the Lundazi Dam rehabilitation project to assess progress on ongoing works. She says the project is on the course, with the Kofa Dam successfully completed, allowing safer water diversion and improved working condition. Water has already been made available for domestic use, bringing relief to surrounding communities. The District Commissioner adds that construction of the new dam is progressing well and is expected to restore reliable water supply, boost agriculture, and improve livelihoods. She has since praised the constructor and project team for their work and urged the community to support and protect the infrastructure once completed.
And we are holding water, and it's even overflowing that side. If we can manage to walk through there, we can see the overflow.
So,
yeah.
And I'm happy that we have water now.
And if you see our intake, the water intake there,
which is down,
properly
covered with water.
Yes, so the pump is safe. Last time we used to monitor closely, how much is the gap?
But now we have stopped.
But now we have stopped that.
And we are happy that we still have the two support of the two boreholes.
Yes, so those boreholes, you can see the structure there. It's done, and it's also pumping feeding the system.
The system.
Yes.
So that means, according to us now, how are we calculating this water to last for us in London?
So this is the way it is, like we have reached our normal capacity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because usually around this time, we usually have an overflow.
Okay.
So you can see, in terms of the holding capacity, we are there. You can see.
Wow. We're very happy because our people were disappointed with the movement of the Kofa Dam that time.
Yeah. So this brings a lot of discomfort.
Yes, and a lot were calling us to say, when are we going to put a Kofa Dam south that will hold water?
Yeah.
And so now they are worried. Yeah. It is a matter of just paying the bills now because it will be coming.
Yes, so you can see the flow. This flow is too high.
Maji yanatukatenge damu ya Ruta, damu hii ambapo wakawapa madezi 90 days to finish. So those people are still on site. We're making sure that we hold water. Worry ya Kofa Dam, I'm sure it is gone. What is important now, they want to build a permanent structure, which is the dam. Otherwise the Kofa Dam is done. Looking forward for you, imwe vandu vitu wamchikaya to protect this water. Lekani kutapo vinyaswa, lekani kutikapo vimaneti kujala kusikula kumapampo yonangika. Tenti samarire, as we are doing fishing, let's also protect water. Because maji para yamala mchikaya, tose tiwengewa kulira. Water is life. Let's protect it. let's also protect water. Because maji parayamala mukikaya.
We do get enjoying some of our stories. Some of you might be having some hot cocoa, some tea, some noodles, and some just love to nibble on the porridge of that little one, pretending like they're feeding that baby, but well, are enjoying that particular one. Remember, you are watching This Week in Focus as we're transforming lives every day for Jesus. This is definitely the channel that you need to be a part of, and of course share with your friends. We are live on Facebook as well. That's Light Space TV Space Zambia, and also on YouTube, and not forgetting all the other social handles, and on Topstar channel 121. Some of the other happening eventualities this particular week have seen a number of presidential nominations come to a close. And we do have a lot of candidates that have successfully filed in, and some have not. Some have, just taken it, swallowed the pill, accepted that they haven't, managed to file in because sometimes, some of the times the papers were not in order, or certain information was not accurate. Well, there could be a fight next time around when the other election does come forth. Another story that brings also to our attention is that some of the parliamentary positions have had people unopposed, and of course people are filed in alone, where they are just alone in that particular area. So it means they are automatically going to be representatives of those areas. So even before a single vote, you can see that some political parties have had about 6 members that are unopposed. So that can really tell you that it's an advantage. So other political parties really need to pull up their tokens and ensure that they do have candidates, that are ready with all the necessary requirements for any particular undergoing to become successful as a nominee, as a candidate for that particular area that they want to represent. Also, about 1,000 pupils from about 30 schools in Lusaka gathered at the showgrounds for the Junior Farmer Agriculture Show, where they were learning and exhibiting various agricultural activities. The learners also took time to tour Zambia National Service, ZNS, demonstration plots, where they learnt about different agriculture production processes. A very good move just to help students to engage in these activities that will boost their minds, just tweak their minds, so that as they do get, even completing their grade 12s, they can have something in mind, a career to pick on. And sometimes these tours are very important because they do inspire the youth. Another big story is of the President Hakainde Hichilema, who has said that the Zambia's process depends on unity and peaceful politics after filing nomination papers to re-election alongside Vice President Mutale Nalumango. Hichilema says the country has moved from diversion and economic hardship to renewed stability, investment, and expanded access to education and local development. He urged Zambians to reject tribalism, corruption, and political violence ahead of the August 13 general elections. Hichilema said Zambians' future should be built on peace, inclusivity, and opportunity for all Zambians. Another story that is also intriguing this particular week is of an angry crowd that has set an Ebola hospital tents on fire in the democratic DR Congo. An angry crowd set alight a section of a hospital at the epicenter of the Ebola outbreak in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo after a family and friends of the young man thought to have died of the virus were prevented from taking his body away to the burial. Medical workers at the Rwampara hospital, located near the city of Bunia in Uturi province, were almost, and the police moved in to restore order. Health workers were injured and stone-throwing protesters before law enforcement agents intervened. A hospital worker told the AFP agency about this particular update. The man who died was a popular figure in the local community, and those upset by the death did not grasp the reality of the disease. And so you can see that our friends on the Congo are battling with something that is a disease that is like what we do get to fight here in Zambia, cholera, but their Ebola is a little bit, vicious. And of course, we are with them in this trying time as they do get to find solutions to that pandemic. President Hichilema assures peaceful pause and seeks fresh mandate. The president, Hakainde Hichilema, the UPND presidential candidate, says the August 13 general elections will be free, fair and peaceful, and has warned that violence or intimidation will not be tolerated. He said this during the address to thousands of supporters who gathered outside the Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka yesterday, soon after he, alongside with his running mate, Mutale Nalumango, filed their nomination papers. President Hichilema and Vice President Nalumango has had their respective nominations validated by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. President Hichilema later told the cheering crowd that the Zambia's peace and unity must never be sacrificed for political interest. He emphasized that the forthcoming elections should build democracy and national cohesion rather than divide citizens. The president asked Zambians to renew his mandate, citing progress achieved in the past 4 years and 9 months. He highlighted debt reconstruction, covering 94% of the country's obligations, foreign reserve now at $6.5 billion US, stabilization of the kwacha, and the $11 billion in mining investments. In our sports this particular day, Zambia under-17 women's national team midfielder Precious Mwewa says the team will not underrate DR Congo as they prepare for a crucial Road to Morocco 2026 encounter. The Junior Copper Queens will face DR Congo on Saturday, May the 23rd, 2026 at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Dola, with kickoff set at 15 hours. Mwewa says the team remains focused and determined as they aim to secure a strong result in front of home fans. Tickets for the match are already on sale via the Faz TechPay platform. The clash is expected to be a key step in Zambia's qualification journey to the 2026 tournament in Morocco. In international news, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has renewed urgent calls for an immediate ceasefire in Sudan as fighting between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces continues to worsen across several regions in the country. The United Nations says the conflict, which has dragged on since 2023, is causing one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, with millions of civilians displaced and critical shortages of food, medicines and shelter. According to UN humanitarian agencies, Intensified fighting and airstrikes in the areas such as Darfur and Kordofan have further escalated citizens' sufferings, prompting renewed international concern. The United Nations Rights Officer has warned that the continued violence risks triggering further mass atrocities unless the parties agree to halt hostilities and allow safe humanitarian access. Secretary General Guterres has stressed that only negotiations cited on ceasefire and renewed peace talks can prevent further loss of life and regional instability. The United Nations is now calling on all parties and international stakeholders to support an urgent return to dialogue. That note brings us to the end of This Week in Focus. But before we go, let's look at the headlines once more. President Hichilema, Vice Nalumango file nominations for 2026 elections. Mazabuka nomination violence, suspects arrested. Garin Kombo, case under investigation. Simon Chitambala Mwewa files nomination as UPND Lusaka mayoral candidate. Mwewa ages Zambia under 17, not to underestimate DRC. On that particular note, we do get ending this bulletin of This Week in Focus. Our table looks at stories that have made it through that particular week. So if you've missed out on all our bulletins that come at exactly 18 hours and 12 hours on Kodi Mwamvilako, make sure to make a date in the mornings at 9 on This Week in Focus. On behalf of everyone who's been a part of this particular edition of This Week in News, this particular day, my name's Ayasani Jose. Pleasant watching.
Of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings.